Everyone, I'm Jessica with that hashtag show, and I'm here today to talk about the new film Meanwhile on Earth with the writer-director. Thanks for being here with me today.
Thank you very much, Jessica. Pleasure for me.
Yeah. Now, first I want to go back to the beginning for you and talk about the idea that you had for this film, because you've created a story that is both about, it's a sci-fi thriller, but it's also a family drama. So did you start from a place that you decided you wanted to create a story about family and loss and then add in the sci-fi, or did you start with a story about, space and aliens and then find a way to ground that?
I think I start with I didn't want first to make a film about loss, so I started with space, really, and the fascination we have for this territory. I was starting thinking about that because we are all on Earth, but we are always fascinated by space, by a territory we will never go. I will never go. I presume you will never go, Jessica. So
Probably not.
So for me, the relation between Earth and space is like, you are in the present time and you want to go to the past or the future, or you are in reality, you want to move to imagination. You are in the world of the living and you want to reach the world of the ghost, of the lost, of someone you lost. So this is the same relation between Earth and space for me. And so starting from that, I started to tell a story of a young girl stuck on Earth, and but being always fascinated by someone she lost into this void. And it brings the story of the void, of the loss. And that's why the story is about that. And I wanted the audience to be with Elsa in this in-between world where you are both in space and both on Earth.
Definitely. And then you have come off I Lost My Body with an Oscar nomination, lovely animated film, and then this movie is largely live action, but still has some animations in there. I believe you also have a background in animation, if I'm correct on
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I started with animation in the Art Decorative of Paris, but I was always in love about directing movie, but it was easier for me. I was a bit shy. I was able to draw, was able to make a movie quite alone, so I started with that. And after I lost my body, there was this moment, this opportunity to try to explore live action now. And I did, and I was really happy. It was my first film. I learned a lot. I've learned a lot, and now I want to do both.
Gotcha. So what made you decide that you wanted to keep some animation elements in your first foray into live action? Is it just part of the style that you wanted? Did it help with that transition into going into live action?
It was really in the first draft of the script. So because I wanted to talk about all this territory facing each other, and somehow I wanted to bring audience into some kind of in-between world. That's why I bring animation and live action. So we have to process something when we move to oh, this is another representation. So it was the first idea of animation, but also it was I was able with the animation to bring the audience inside Elsa
Mhm.
mind and to bring this kind of safe territory she preserved where the her brothers still exist and they are together so we can be with them only in animation and then it creates a contrast with reality where she's alone, totally alone without her brothers. So it was also, I think, because of my personal past to bring animation. I mean, it's also, a reason why I bring this animation to the film, but not the only one.
Gotcha. How did you land on the visual style of the animation? I really liked the look of it. It reminded me of, comic books and, old like animated cartoons and things like that. How did you pick a style that you wanted to be Elsa's inner world?
I have to start with a representation based on TV show. I was in, I can imagine Elsa and her brother was looking like TV show about space, and it can be this kind of look. So I wanted something a bit, traditional with but modernity inside because this is design I really like. And it's black and white because I want to bring some distance between a real TV show. And also the framing is not the same, is we are always trying to see the animation through the perspective of a kind of whole, like we want to access to the whole story, but it's not so easy. The camera is moving, so it's like we are in the brain of someone. And there's something very magical with animation too, because magical animation is built with still frame, but it can be, and you bring magic with animation. It makes the illusion of it is living, and somehow it is a process of Elsa. She's trying to keep the idea that her brother is still alive. Animation is this kind of effort. You make a still frame very static, you make another one, and somehow you built the illusion of something still living.
Definitely. I think another one of the things that I thought was really interesting about Meanwhile on Earth is that it's not completely bloodless and free from violence, but I thought it was interesting that we don't see Elsa, sacrificing people. We get the sort of the before and the after, but not that actual moment, which seems like a very intentional choice you made. Tell me about that.
Yeah, this is a film about violence, you're right, but we never see people dying. They are just standing into a dream, so it's not real, maybe not a real death. And we are not seeing the protagonist, the character, really like killing, provoking the death. But at the same time, I wanted violence to be very concrete because loss is all about violence, and that's why there is some a representation of violence in the film, which are very physical. Because for me, definition of violence is something coming from nowhere. It destroys everything and leaves away. And it's the loss, but it's also what, if you see the movie, there is other aspect of the violence, more visual, more physical, brings the story inside this thematic too. So the movie is always dealing by, okay, is it really happening? Is it only in her head or is it real? For me, it's real, and I wanted the audience to think it's real because when you see the bathroom sequence, there is something you cannot hide. It's real. So, but I like to be in this in between area. You know.
Like it, yeah. Adds to that sort of unreality and dreamlike and the divide between the worlds, like you're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, since you did get to both write and direct this film, you've been with this project from the very beginning. Did anything change significantly from your when you first wrote the script to the final film in the shooting process or in the editing process that things ended up a little different?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's part of the process, but maybe at the beginning I was more exploring the backstory with the aliens, how to get to know more how they works, how they are, even the representation of the aliens, but what is really the story with the spaceship meeting this alien, how the backstory of the film. But little by little, I was not keeping this part because I wanted to be through the perspective of Elsa and to not have all the answer. You know, when you are facing something coming from out of space, you cannot ask all the question to this. They don't think like you. They are immortal. These aliens are immortal, so their relation with life is not what we got. So I wanted to maintain this mystery, to keep them a little distance, real, but I want them to be real, but to keep a distance, to make them very like Lovecraft, maybe Lovecraft or something more Lovecraft, I would say. So it changed a bit. Yeah, it changed a bit the representation. It's a fantastic element in the film. And there was also more backstory with Elsa and her young brother too. But somehow when she start to be to follow the deal with the aliens, the story got her its own timeline. I have to rush into this only one direction process.
Gotcha. Interesting. I can't say for sure since I wasn't there in the beginning, but I feel like it's the right call. It makes sense for me with the film. I got.
Okay, thank you.
Now that you do have this film completed and it's going to go out and everybody's going to get to see it, tell me about a scene from the film that you're the most proud of now, looking back. It could be something that was really challenging to shoot or something that just really matched your first vision of it that came out in the final film.
Um, I mean, I like the sequence when she talk with on the bed with her little brother because she asks a good question and the
Mhm.
brother tell the good answer. It's very naive answer. An adult cannot answer this way, but through the perspective of a young boy, you can accept what he's saying. You can understand too. There is and it's the sequence is contain all the thematic of the film about the value of life
Mhm.
through a naive conversation. So I like this sequence. It's a simple sequence, but it tells a lot in the film. And also I like the most of the sequence in the tree, in the forest, because I love the set. So I like to bring this mystery into this forest through even the chainsaw sequence, but also the when the body are just disappearing behind her. This kind of poetry and strangeness. I wanted the forest to be like, the sticks, the river, the sticks, the story of this man on the boat, bringing the soul of people from a side to another side. So Elsa is doing a bit that in the forest.
Nice, I love that. I love the ambiance of the forest as well. I love a big open space and like the tall trees and everything. One of my favorite TV shows is The X-Files, and so there was a lot of, aliens
Forest,
in the
yeah.
creepy forest for that. So it was a fun little
Yes,
remote.
and I wanted the forest to be as a spaceship too. I mean, it's like the hospice, the hospital is the same. We are still mixing the territory together. We are in the spaceship in a drawing style, and then we are in the forest, but we are moving like we are in a corridor to a
Mhm.
direction, always like Elsa is stuck in the same spaceship, even she's in the forest or in the hospice or in the drawing, she's stuck somewhere.
Mhm. Totally. All right, last one for you. Why should everybody check out Meanwhile on Earth?
Very much. Sorry, I missed your question, Jessica. I
No
thought you.
worries. Why should everybody watch the movie?
Oh, okay. I think if it's a movie, you need to be curious because there is not so many movie with mixed genre like that, and it explore animation, live action, but also it brings something new to SFI, and I hope it brings people inside themselves too, and they can keep a part of the movie after the screening and start conversation with people about that. So that's why I'm doing film.
Perfect. I love it. Well, I'm looking forward to everyone getting to see it. Thank you for talking with me today.
Thank you very much, Jessica.